Hey gang, I'm back again, and this time we have the third quest deck for the Tomb Raider collectible card game. This is the Neptune's Fury? Neptune's Fury quest deck with exclusive Lara Croft variant card, and this is one of two quest decks for the Slippery When Wet expansion. So I think Slippery When Wet introduced some new mechanics, specifically about wet and dry places, and I'm not sure how that impacts how the game works, but it should be pretty interesting. Let's have a look at what it says on the back. From the rooftops of London to the fabled sunken city of Atlantis, which is kind of ironic considering that in Tomb Raider Atlantis isn't sunken, but that's a second thing. The adventures of Lara Croft have captivated millions of electronic game players across the world. You wouldn't hear it being called electronic gameplays these days, would you? Now join Lara Croft for amazing adventures above and below the waterline. Take your game to the next level with new oxygen supply rules, perilous sea locations, and plenty of cool new underwater gear. In Neptune's Fury, Lara Croft, Mariner, must think her way around the hazards of sunken ruins and forgotten aqueducts in search of Poseidon's trident. Cool. By combining Neptune's Fury with other quest decks and boosters, you can build more deadly tombs and greater raiders until all of the treasures of the open seas are yours. Perfect for new players and veteran raiders. Very true. Contains small parts. Cool. So, as I said, this is for the Slippery When Wet expansion, so we're going to be seeing different cards to what we saw in the first two decks, which is going to be pretty awesome. Let's get the plastic off and have a look. Okie dokie, so I imagine this is going to have very similar inserts to the previous quest decks, so probably we're not going to have any surprises, but we'll take a look. Cool, so that's pretty much what I expected. Let's bring this one out. So here is our quest deck with Lara Croft and Mariner on the top, so we'll be opening that one up last. Next we have our paperwork, so you can see it says Tomb Raider starring Lara Croft, Slippery When Wet official rules. So this includes the updated rules for Slippery When Wet. Pretty cool, so I'll definitely be reading through this carefully. Underneath that we have a Slippery When Wet booster pack, which I'm really looking forward to because these are actually quite hard to find compared to the base set, where, as I said in a previous video, I've actually ordered a 48 box booster box. This one is a lot rarer, costing 10 times more than the base set, so it's nice to have an official booster so I can open up some of these cards as well. Then we have the usual pieces to push out, so we will have a look at those later. And then finally we have some green dice this time, which is very nice, and then we have a little green Lara figurine. So I think the sculpt is exactly the same on the figurine, it's just a different color, but it's nice that it's a different color for each one. Just makes it a bit more interesting. Interestingly, we don't have a depth tracker in this box this time. I'm guessing that's because Slippery When Wet plays differently. Or maybe they just felt that they didn't need to include it. Very strange. Anyway, time to open up our booster pack. So as before, I'm going to carefully snip the top to make sure I can preserve the pack in all its glory. I've seen a couple of videos online where people opened up booster packs and they were just ripping them apart, and it does kind of make me cringe a little bit. So I believe the rare card is on the top. So what I'm going to do... I was going to turn it round, but it's already turned round. I've ruined it for myself. Never mind. Here is our... Oh, maybe this isn't our rare because it's number 85. Not sure. Perhaps they changed how the packs work. Let's go through them. So we have Overwhelmed. Interesting. Sometimes it all gets a little too much. Then I think about the treasure and I'm ready to go again. Very nice. We have Ride the Wave. Mark Spitz has nothing on me. He was an Olympic swimmer, wasn't he? Scouting mission. Very cool. Snooping. I prefer to think of it as tactical investigation. Of course you do. We have some chalk, of course. We have piranhas. Very nice. I mean, maybe not so nice if you're swimming with them. Below decks, cool. A wet shipwreck location, so that's cool. So that's moving into the different mechanics of this set. We have hidden trap, and the bold man manhunter. Interesting, the bold man manhunter. Who named it that? That's pretty cool though. So 192. This is an upgrade card, I think. Yeah, it's a character upgrade. Play when your result is 16 or more on a fight test. Upgrade the Bold Man Think ability +1. So the Bold Man, I think, wasn't he one of Natla's goons? I think they gave him a name in the anniversary edition, but originally they just they had like the skateboard kid and the bald man, although they gave Larson and Pierre names. Don't know. Oh man, I love Tomb Raider. Cool, so that's actually a really nice pull from a booster pack. Really happy about that one. This isn't actually my first foray with the Slippery When Wet cards. I actually bought a bunch of loose cards on eBay, so some of these we have already seen, or I've certainly already seen, but I hadn't seen quite a few of the cards in that booster pack, so I'm really happy about that. Right, let's have a look at our quest deck. So as shown, we have Lara Croft Mariner. Really like this design. It's mirrored to the box, which is interesting. But she is very cool, swimming underwater. Very nice. We have the swim action, flotsam and jetsam. So some of these I have already seen before. Panic attack, overachiever, steady aim, air tank, slick surface, shark knife, nice. Ooh, Lara Croft oceanographer, okie dokie. That's a bit more extreme than I was expecting from a card game. You can learn a lot from the ocean. Finding the treasure and keeping my head above water are the two highest on my list. Yes, that's definitely what that means. It kind of reminds me of, like, this is more of a UK thing, but like page 3 in newspapers back in the day. When I was a teenager and I worked at a supermarket, that's one of the first things that you used to see, especially on a Sunday. And you would have like a quote from the girl underneath, and it was always something really thoughtful, which didn't really match the pose that they were doing at all. Oh dear. Rats. Frogman. Doesn't look like a frog to me. Drain trigger. Air pocket. The way through. Dark. Save point. Triggered door. So these are interesting. Hidden exit. So what's kind of interesting is these are the same cards as in the base set, but they are S numbers, which means that they are Slippery When Wet, which I'll need to look into that, because that's almost like saying they're exactly the same cards across the two sets, but they've just introduced them again. Yeah, Magnum Pistols was definitely in the previous set, wasn't it? So that's a bit of a cop-out. So I knew there were like hundreds of cards, like 200 cards per set, but it looks like a lot of them are duplicates, which is pretty disappointing. We have the diving flippers, gigantic eel. Where was he? I think I've only ever completed Tomb Raider 2 one time, so maybe that's where I'm getting lost here. Some pretty cool new locations: underwater passage, crawl space, sunken platform, submerged ramp, crate room, forgotten corridor, hidden back room, okay, underwater arena, abandoned chamber, the dark deep, okay, cool, blocked passage, Neptune's sanctum, nice, that's a cool one, fountain room, diving platform, there's our treasure, Neptune's trident, and also on the back we have strong currents. Interesting that they put that at the back, but Neptune's trident is our treasure for this deck. Very, very nice. Cool, so that is the Neptune's Fury quest deck. That's a pretty nice one, and we got a really decent card, well, I think it's really decent, looks really nice, in our booster pack. So really happy about that one. Really looking forward to opening the last quest deck and then actually learning how to play. So we'll be doing that on the next video. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.